Welcome back to the PT Graduate Podcast. My guest today is Janine Couchman. Hi, Janine.
Hi, Rich. How are you?
Good. Very well, thank you. Very well. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Yeah.
And great to be able to connect on here. I know we've probably known each other over the last few years, but never caught up at any great length other than sort of workshops and things like that. So good to be able to have a slightly longer conversation and find out more about yourself and your business.
Sounds good. No, I'm keen to have a good chat as well.
Oh, excellent. So you specialize in female functional fitness, is that fair to say?
That's the niche that I have found myself in. And I couldn't be happier about it. It's really nice actually to have a space where you feel like I can really add value here, and there's so much need and to really go deep on what you know and learn more. It gives you a lot of freedom really, because I've just in the past year or so and sort of saying, oh no, I don't think I'll take on the 18-year-old ballerina, and not so interested in your teenage son that would like to train, but I've got other people I can recommend, and I do. I do feel very lucky to work with the clients that I work with.
I think that's a good move, isn't it, to stay firmly in your lane once you know what it is, because it helps you attract the right people all the time. And when you don't have those inquiries that you really want, when you do have those inquiries you don't really want, you can farm them onto colleagues, right? And so you're helping each other out. They'll do the same in return for you, hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's good for everyone. It's best for the people that you're serving as well.
They get the right support that they actually need. So you're based. You were in Wellington originally, is that right?
Yes, I'm from Wellington originally. It's been a pretty haphazard path to becoming a personal trainer and working in this industry. I was always really into sports and fitness growing up, and it's funny when you look back, I'm like, oh yes, PE was actually my best subject at school, and for some reason it never occurred to me that would be the path. So I studied at Vic. I went got a psych degree, and I worked as a policy analyst for a good decade or so, and in the research evaluation space. So worked my way up the public sector, way up to international policy. So got really glamorous for a moment there, going business class to China, and participating in free trade talks and that kind of thing. You wouldn't have predicted this is where I'd be now. But looking back, I can see things fitting together really well. When I was on maternity leave, I went back to uni and got my master's in educational psychology. I was taking a bit of time out working with my first two kids. And so then I loved that so much, I decided to become a psychologist. So it was a hard pivot, number one. And so I got into a very competitive internship to finish my training and to become registered there. And then I dropped out of it and moved to Fiji for 2 years. So my husband Ryan came home from work one day and said, would you like to move to Fiji? There's a contract there that would be great for me. And he's a civil engineer. And there was a bit of work happening in Fiji. So we took the kids and moved there, and it was a really good time for that to come up in our lives. So up until then, things were quite busy. I was doing the big commute every day on the motorway. We'd bought out in Lower Hutt and dropping the kids off at my sister's and paying for, parking all day and spending all day in the car and commuting. It was quite a different experience. Fiji really gave me a good reset and more time with the kids, and life really slowed down a bit. And if anything, it gave me more time to get a bit more obsessed with, well, not obsessed, but just interested in my own health and training. I was, I've always been a gym goer and a runner, and I saw strength training as something you do to support that. So that was a really nice chapter. Then we moved from Fiji to Hawke's Bay. So came here, would have been about 7 years ago, and not so much policy analyst work in Hawke's Bay. So, and I was pregnant with baby number 3. So I wasn't too keen on a full-time internship either, and start that whole process back up again. So, and this is the really cool way that things sort of just worked out. I joined the gym here at Peak Fitness and Health, and I volunteered in the gym creche, actually. So that's how, things sort of that kind of the seed. I was just hanging out at the gym a lot. So I went from doing that to just picking up some part-time hours on the front desk, just enjoyed being there, and this worked well with the family. And then so somehow I went from that to being talked into becoming a personal trainer.
Right.
And I just fell in love with it. It's just one of those pinch me things. I've never enjoyed my work so much. I feel really lucky to be doing what I'm doing. And it's just evolved from there.
And you've picked up some other things along the way as well. So you did some nutritional work and some epigenetics.
Yes. I think that's one of the things I love about this industry is there's always so much to learn. There's always more. You'll never get bored if you like to learn. And yes, so I particularly this actually happened in Fiji. I transitioned to a plant-based diet, and felt that definitely worked for me. And I thought, well, I want to do this as healthily as I can. So yes, picked up a certificate in plant-based nutrition. Through what else? The epigenetics training, the PH 360. You can just keep learning forever, and that would probably be one of my top tips, is to keep yourself fresh, show your clients that you are committed to being across everything, and to having the most up-to-date information, because it is changing. And particularly in the female space, there is a real lack of history there in terms of science and information. And there's a lot more coming through now, which is great. And this is again where I see the value in my background, that you can't get through a master's degree without really understanding how research works and how to interpret data, and to sort of discern what's good information and what's not got the evidence to support it.
That is a useful skill, something I wish I knew more about, because obviously the research is really, really important, but it's not so difficult to find, but it's quite another challenge actually interpreting and getting the meaning out of it.
Yes. 100%.
what tips do you have for people that are in that position? Because that is definitely the camp that I'm in, and I should be better with some of the nutrition stuff that I've done with Cliff Harvey, because he's a stickler for the research. But as a lay person who doesn't regularly go digging into it, any tips that people you could share?
I think you probably need to, the best way for a layperson to approach it is to find the people you trust.
Right.
So I will read, books when I see that this is someone who's running a behavioral lab at Stanford, or
Right.
and I see
Yeah.
got their academic background, where there's a lot of information out there that's more, this is journalistic and this is really interesting, and so I'm going to make it sensational and exaggerate it. I did, for my deep sort of work and looking into women's research, I trust and rely a lot on people like Dr. Stacey Sims.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's got done the PhD studies, continuously doing research, and then sharing that at a really accessible level.
Yeah.
There's Dr. Wendy Sweet.
Yes.
I'm thinking New Zealand-based people I really look up to. It was a treat going to the conference in Auckland and getting a good deep dive in there. I should probably say I'm female functional fitness, but just the way my clientele has grown, it's very much women over 40. So my niche within the niche really is looking at the best way to train alongside hormonal changes, and optimizing what you're doing to put you in the best position possible through those crucial perimenopause years, and set yourself up for a good, strong second, I'd say last third of life, but the way science is going, medicine's going, it could be half your life. Wow. On the other side of that. So
no, it does. I think I'd sort of do a similar thing by default. I've read a number of Dr. Libby's books.
Yes.
I think I've read one of Dr. Stacey Sims. Have been a big follower of Wendy, as you mentioned. Did one of her workshops when she was doing her tour. So I think you're right. I think if those are the people that are always digging into it, and then there's work that comes from that in whether they write or whether they run courses. It's a great way of accessing the latest thinking and the most research-based thinking. Yeah, that's good. Definitely answers the question. So I see you recently taken to writing a recent article in the Bay Buzz.
Oh, thanks for noticing, Rich. That's lovely. That came out while I was in Bali, actually.
Oh, did it?
Come home and get my hands on a copy. That was a real treat to be able to just have the space to sit down and put my message, what would be the one thing I could say with a word limit, and getting that message out there. That was a really cool opportunity. Really enjoy that. I'd like to do more of that kind of thing.
Well, it's a great way of sort of, again, carving out that niche and helping people understand who the expert is in particular areas. So did you write it, or were you interviewed, or how did it come about?
I wrote it. Yeah.
Right.
It's a Bay Buzz is a really unique publication that they look for. It's sort of motto is showing the people, Hawke's Bay people, back to themselves. So it's very much happy to be living here to contribute to it. And so they just looking for someone to share something under that sort of health and wellness sort of banner for that edition. And so got approached to fill that spot. So
nice.
Very good exercise. I actually do really unlike a lot of personal trainers probably I think, oh, thank God I don't work at a desk anymore. I'm doing this sort of active job. It's like, oh, I do love to actually sit down and write and think as well. So
yeah.
it's great.
It's not just about dumbbells and bands, is it? It's
Yeah.
there's a lot more to it, and good preparation for working with your clients is about sort of that planning and that thinking, not just winging it.
Yeah, and I don't really have time to do that sort of work unless there's a deadline and someone's asked me to do it.
There you go.
Yes, I've been going, oh, I should really write some blog posts and put some information out there. And yeah, does it happen? Yeah, not until there's that impetus.
So were you able to talk about that very topic about the female functional fitness, or some words along those lines? I didn't get to read it, but I saw that you'd done it.
Yeah, oh great. I'll send it to you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just really the more I've sort of learned, and I've even implemented it to myself. I used to be a runner who did, like saying, did strength training as a means to be a strong runner. And now I've evolved to it actually being more the other way around. I really treat my strength training as a priority. And running is now a bit more of a mental health exercise that I just enjoy doing rather than racing at the moment. So that's just learning the importance of women in particular, protecting that against the natural muscle loss in that decade before menopause, and realizing that I'm probably doing, and this is probably a huge generalization, but it tends to be true, is that women do their cardio too hard and their weights too light. Sometimes just knowing that and flipping that around can really lead to some really cool results for people. So that's really exciting. And just from doing the study and things, and this is another tip really, is you can learn and learn and learn, but there needs to be implementation of what you've learned as well. You've got to have time to apply what you're learning. So I sort of put myself out there a bit outside my comfort zone and developed a group program based on what I'd learned for women. And that really came from seeing so many commonalities in my clients, and then looking also at what was on offer for women who really want to do group work, who enjoy a class, and thinking, there isn't actually anything here that is optimal for them. There's a real trend for the high intensity stuff, those sort of HIIT classes, and not so much if women are already quite squeezed for time, then I wanted to offer them something, and usually the strength training is the thing they feel the most unsure about. I wanted them to actually get what would be optimal. And I do think it's quite nuts that you look at the gym timetable and that these classes are mostly attended by women, and they're really designed that's optimal training for a young man. Which is so
just like the research.
Pretty much. Pretty much. And there is a mindset shift, because, and I was no different. If I've had a good workout, if I'm sweaty and I feel smashed and tired, and it's kind of a different vibe. Slowing things down, going heavier with your weights, fewer reps, and having decent rest and recovery. And so we have I've developed, from what I've learned, quite a holistic sort of program where we've got 2 strength training sessions a week. And I'm just sort of adding on educational, sort of drip feeding that throughout the 8 weeks around your nutrition, your hormones, what's actually going on. And it's just a really great way for a lot of women to connect with others and feel that support, meeting each other at a similar stage, perhaps all like not so confident going into a gym, feeling a bit daunted by the weight section. I'd often, people will get as far as joining the gym, but then sticking to the machines because they feel safe. It's just trying to, the goal of the program is so at the end of the 8 weeks, you feel equipped to walk into a gym and know what to do, and know, you can have a good workout.
Yeah, superb. Sounds like a great program. So do you do you run that on a cycle? So you stop one, start one, or is there a gap, or how do you?
There's a gap, yes. So that's how I get to go to Bali.
Holidays.
Have a good break. I've done it, so it ties in with the school terms. So 4 times a year. And yes, and I started that with a group of, I think I had a dozen women in my first group last year. It was meant to be at the start, and we had the cyclone, and it was a terrible time. So we ended up starting in term 2 last year. With a dozen or so women, and I'm about to start the 6th round, I think, next week.
Nice.
And I have 52 women across 3 different groups.
Well done.
So it's really just organically grown, and and it's such a it's great. It's again how you can, in terms of I guess your own sort of growth and marketing. There's something I'm known for. It's my signature program. These are all, every time there's a round, I've got something there that is, because I'm not great at marketing myself. I'm not a fan of social media. I don't like spending time on it. And yet that's the way I'm out there. And there are some women, when that comes around, say, oh, that group doesn't work for me, but you are definitely the personal trainer I would like to talk to. And so it's a good way to and just keep improving with each round. I get that feedback, and I said it was really uncomfortable to begin with. It would have been much easier to just stay in my comfort zone doing one-on-one. I really like connecting with people one-on-one. So it was a stretch for me to do that, but now it's so much fun. And
Brilliant. That's great feedback. You've got them out of their comfort zone.
All of us are. It's good.
So is that a separate program to your Super Saturdays?
So Super Saturdays is, again, another good example of just trying things and seeing what happens. So so at the end of term 4 last year, I had quite a few people go, what am I going to do until February? And so I did a summer strength series. So every Saturday in January, I ran a women's group. So, which was absolutely fun to do. The dates landed nicely, so I got a sort of little Christmas, New Year's break, and then into it. And it was, it's just done on a Saturday morning. I could still do whatever I wanted to for the rest of summer, for the rest of the weekend. And that was really popular. And so I had a second class. So I did 2 of those back to back on the Saturday. So that got such a huge response from new people, which really surprised me. And I thought, here's a market of women who I would really like to work with, but they are not available during the week. So Super Saturdays was my idea. Well, to continue on serving the people who came to the January series throughout the year. And so we meet once a month, and the idea is that they're supported in between by online training. So that's availability. So I've got an app that I use to program, and it's personalized to each of the people in that group. So they're basically online clients, but with that monthly in-person touch point. but yeah, and I do think when I say it's a lesson in trying things, we'll see how it goes this year and if I'll try next year, because we're halfway through and a couple have actually transitioned to doing the program or PT instead.
Okay.
And then there's a few, I'd say about half the group that it really suits because they're happy. And this is very individual, no right or wrong, but there are some people who just can't make it happen at home. It's not enough touch points. And so it's and then winter kids sports sort of got in the way, and so if you miss a month, then I'm really hardly seeing you at all. And I mean that's not the case in January. January is a nice time where there aren't those competing priorities if you're around for free. So actually, because that's there anyway, and that's happening this year. It's I'm including the people doing the 8-week program can do a catch up on those and come along.
Cool. Yeah, that's good. So there's a bit of crossover. Nice.
Yeah, a bit of crossover. I've got the space, and
that works. That's great.
Yeah,
that's good. Good little setup, and I like the fact that you've decided to do it, but you're tweaking it along the way, and if it's not quite how it needs to be, you're changing stuff, and it's evolving rather than just there's the program. So nice. Great.
Yeah, I really struggle with that too because I am growing. That is sort of the next thing to grow. So I'm quite maxed out with one-on-one is the online training, and it's hard to let go of having really regular contact with someone and knowing them well. So I'm often struggling with that and feeling like they feeling like everything they need and are being looked after. We'll get there.
What was your favorite run? So just shifting to the runs that you've done, because I know you're a prolific runner, or have been. I saw there's a picture of you on the sidelines of the Hawke's Bay Marathon, most recently supporting rather than participating. But
that's fun. It was such a good experience seeing it from that side.
I bet.
Way more fun than I thought. Loved it.
What would are you mostly a road runner, or do you do the off roads as well?
Trail, yes, yeah. Although I'm not against the road running. A lot of people never look back when they fall in love with trail running. I do love all running, all distances, from the half marathons to Old Ghost would be my longest. It was 85.
Yes.
Okay. I'd say that was probably my favorite as well. Just the whole experience of getting to just get on a plane all by myself and spending time. My best friend down in Christchurch did it with me as well, and so just getting away, and it's a really cool event. It's got great atmosphere.
That's a massive one. So all in one day. Yes. So massive.
It's 85K and it's a lot of elevation. So and we had a weather change of course due to bad weather right at the last minute too, which really did mess with your mind a bit. Instead of being a beautiful sort of point to point over Old Ghost Road, they turned us around at halfway and sent us back to the start. Mentally quite tough. But here you are, you've run a whole marathon and you know what's coming. You know that all the downhills are now going to, you have to go back up them. And so I may have unfinished business with Old Ghost. I have to start going back. So I've only seen half the course.
Yes, exactly. It's a stunning. I mountain biked it in 2019, and fully put myself out of my comfort zone. And we stopped twice. We probably could have stopped once, but we stopped twice. And the first stop, there was a girl running the trail to she split it into two. So she did the 2 marathons in 2 days, and we were all sitting there as cyclists in awe that, she just trotted up and stayed the night and off again in the morning. She was gone by the time we woke up, and made me think, run it.
Yeah.
I'm struggling to cycle it, so very impressive to tackled old Ghost. Well done.
Thanks, Rich. Yeah, it's pretty fun.
It's a beautiful part of the world, isn't it? Just stunning.
Really is. Yeah. Never been there for any reason before. So yeah.
You're about above the clouds at the highest point, and then you're down in the river at the lowest point. It's amazing.
Yeah, a lot of up and down. We didn't quite make that Heaven's Gate. Is it that what it's called? Or it's
Yes.
the very point. Yeah.
Yep.
That's the part that was the weather was too dangerous.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was when we went past it, we couldn't see anything. It was cloudy and foggy. So by the time we got down, we looked up and went, well, that's what we're where you could see it, because it's pretty significant. But we couldn't, we didn't get the view from the top, unfortunately. It was just, one of those days.
Oh, cloudy. Yeah. That's the thing. Yeah.
So have you got any other running events? Obviously, Old Ghost may have to be a revisit, but any others on your radar?
Yeah. So my friend's coming up to do Topo Ultra 70, which I'm too scared to touch that again, because I came second female when I did that in 22.
Yeah.
And I don't want, that's just anything can happen with an ultra, and that day it went really, really well. So
just leave the record there.
Yeah, I'm going to leave that. I've got a little trophy. I'm going to go and pace her and just be a part of the action. I know a few people that are doing various distances, a couple of clients and entered, so that'll be really special. Yeah. Okay. Just like the volunteering at the marathon, I'm okay with not being part of the just seeing the action and enjoying the atmosphere and supporting other people. I'll have to really sit down and make a plan, but I'm really just enjoying my running for fun and relaxation at the moment. So I'm just listening to that, and I'm sure inspiration will strike when it strikes.
Yeah, I think it's good to listen, isn't it? And should tune into that, because you can over push yourself and sometimes suffer the consequences hormonally and other things physically, but you learn a lot as a result of those things, and so that kind of equips you in other ways, I've found, to help other people who haven't been through that process and look like they're probably heading that way, and you can provide so much support for those people, I reckon.
No, I agree. Very true.
So it wasn't a difficult transition to be on the sidelines?
I thought it would be harder than it was. I really did. So yeah, I'm learning.
That's good.
I blame all of my study and research around women and hormones, and I know I feel my body is better off with the less mileage at the moment. It's individual, making any rules for anybody. Loving the focus on the strength training.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very curious. Are you in have you got a bit of a studio thing going on back here?
Yeah. Like my sign, I've got so this has always been my home gym, and this year it's become a bit of space that I can film exercise videos in and see in. It's not big at all, so definitely no group training here. But that's been another really good transition that I've made. I loved being in the gym, on the gym floor, for the energy with that, and it's a great place to learn off other trainers and feel supported there. But I was towards the end of last year feeling like I was heading towards the burnout, and my balance was off, and that I needed to change something. So still really kind of evolving into that, how I want to work, and but I did know I wanted to be at home more. So that's enabled me to, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Excellent. That looks good. It's good. I like your little locker as well.
Yeah, thanks.
That's cool.
It was fun. It was fun making it. So I was already training in here, but yeah, it had bikes and skateboards and all kinds of stuff. And I was like, if I just pretty this up a bit, this will make a really nice space. So yeah, it's working really well. And again, it all just sort of it's come together really well with the clients that I serve. A lot of women do find gyms really daunting and uncomfortable. So a space that's all they can feel.
Nice. Not intimidating, nice and relaxing.
Nice.
Good space. So it's about that time where I start. You've dropped a couple of tips already, I've noticed. So we've got the keep learning. We've got the implementation too, which obviously is very, very important. You can't have learning without implementation.
Yes.
What else have you got on that list there, Janine?
My top tip would be to put yourself out there and get connected. Don't be passive about your growth as a business. Don't rely on gym referrals. Do your own networking. I think in large part my niche developed through me following my interest anyway, and also wanting to serve my clients, but connecting with physios and practitioners and going to every talk I could go to, for me particularly on menopause, hormone, anything female, and introducing myself to people and saying this is what I do in this space. And a lot of my growth in the early days just came from me being a bit out there, and it's not natural and comfortable for me really to do that, rather just passively kind of learn. And it's been so important though.
Okay, good advice.
What else? I said keep learning, just do the next thing. So I think if you look too far ahead, I find this anyway, if I look at people who are further ahead than me, I can get quite overwhelmed. I want to build this or do this, or there's just so many opportunities and I can see so much, so many exciting things I could do. And that, so just try and not get overwhelmed and think, what is the next thing? I don't know what I'll be doing, where I'll be in 5 years' time. But I do know that I am still moving and growing. And if I look back a year at how much has changed in that time, I can see that things are happening. So and I guess related to that, the growth mindset is key. Don't stay where you're comfortable. It was so comfortable being at the front desk at the gym. That was a lovely lovely setup. Taking the step into personal training was uncomfortable, but it didn't stay that way. And likewise with the program, when my first day with that group, I was like, oh, how do I put myself through this? It's stressful, and what would be so bad about just doing one-on-one? But I'm so pleased that I have just embrace that growth mindset. It's important with your clients, and to show your clients that you're doing that with yourself, that you are uncomfortable in doing new things. And this is my first time talking on a podcast, and that feels like not in my comfort zone, but you know what, I want to be comfortable talking on podcasts, so I just have to do it, don't I?
Excellent.
So think about that with everything, and it'll keep you moving forward and growing. Get good advice from people. Get some good mentors. I was just looking, I thought this was really good. Book by Adam Grant called Hidden Potential.
Oh yeah.
He's got in it this really nice Venn diagram of people who know you well, people who have relevant expertise in your industry, and people who want the best for you. And so we can all think of people that, like, I can think of a lot of people that know me well and want what's best for me, but don't know much about the industry, right? So there's that whole, like, yes, you'll get good encouragement, but perhaps not the advice you need. So if you can find some people who cross all three of those, where they hear and they're familiar with you, they know you well, and they've got good knowledge as well. That's the stuff, you mine those people for gold. And yeah, I'll definitely.
Right. What was Adam Grant's book called again?
Hidden Potential.
Hidden Potential. Brilliant.
Yeah.
I always like to add books to my list.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you for that. I should probably ask that question of everybody. Favorite book or recommended book? It's a good one.
Yeah. Always be. Yeah.
Excellent.
Thank
you for that. That's one of the longer lists of tips that I've had in a while. So very thorough. Excellent. Cool. Thank you. That's great. And really appreciate your time. We've managed to chew through 3/4 of an hour. Well done. Fantastic. Awesome.
Oh, sorry.
No, don't apologize.
Life story.
All good. I don't want to hold you up any longer. So thanks again for your time, and great chatting, Janine.
You too, Rich. Take care. Cheers. Thanks.